What is going on, guys? Welcome to your 17th tutorial, and I actually just made this tutorial, but when I got done with it I accidentally hit delete at the end of it because I'm an idiot. So now I have to make the entire thing again, but I mean, at least I had practice making it. So alright, let me take a deep breath and let's do this again. But for you guys, it'd be like the first time. So anyways, what I want to talk about in this tutorial is complex conditions. So in the last tutorial, we saw that if we wanted to test more than one condition, then what we had to do is embed an if within another if. So basically, if we wanted to test my first name was Bucky, then we go ahead and we made an if statement. And then we wanted to test my last name was Roberts, so we go ahead and we stuck if statement inside of that. But actually, I want to let you guys in on a little secret. There's an easier way to test more than one condition, and you only have to use one if statement. So let's go ahead and make two variables. I'll go ahead and make first, and I'll set this equal to Bucky. And I'll go ahead and make another variable, and I'll name this last, and I'll set this equal to Roberts. Make sure I spell my last name right though, Roberts. And now let's go ahead and make an if statement. So before we needed to make two whenever we want to test two conditions, but now I told you guys you can test two conditions using one if statement. So in order to test two conditions, the first thing you need to do is this. Go ahead and put each condition you want to test inside parentheses. I call them curly braces sometimes, but I mean, I'm not lying to myself. I know there are parentheses. So the first thing I want to test is that first variable is equal to the name Bucky. And now go ahead and stick the next condition you want to test in parentheses. So now I want to test that that last variable is equal to my name Roberts. So Roberts. So you're saying, alright, that's simple enough. You have two conditions in here that you want to test. Simple enough, but you're not done yet. The last thing that you need to add is in between them, go ahead and above the 7 there's a key called ampersand. Go ahead and hit that twice. What this is going to tell JavaScript is, alright, you want to test this condition and you want to test this condition. And I'm only going to execute this code. Let's give it some code real quick to execute. Document, write, and write something stupid like, hey, good job, buddy, here's a cookie, whatever. I spelled every word with a typo, but it doesn't really matter. So anyways, like I was saying, whenever you use this special double ampersand, it means, alright, I know with one if statement you usually use one condition, but in this case scenario, you want to test this condition and this condition right now. And if they're both true, then I'm going to execute this bit of code right now. So let's go ahead and save it and refresh and see what we get. Hey, good job there, buddy, yada yada yada. So anyways, like I was saying, when you use the double ampersands, this needs to be true and this needs to be true. If one of them is false or if both of them is false, it's not going to run. So let's go ahead and change his first name to like Tommy, name my cousin, and go ahead and refresh it, and it's not going to work since one of those conditions was false. So that is how you test two or more conditions in a single if statement. And you're saying, all right, so how would I test three or four? Well, if you want to test more, then just go ahead, add more ampersands and another condition right here. Simple enough. So now that I told you guys about that special and, let's go ahead and delete this. And I want to teach you guys about another way that you can test complex conditions, and that's using the or. So let's go ahead and make a simple if, and let's go ahead and document write, whoa, wrong symbols there. Let's write bacon. It really doesn't matter what you write in there. And now, say you come across this scenario. Alright, I want to test two conditions, but only one of them needs to be true for me to execute the bit of code. For example, if your name is Bucky or if your last name is Roberts, the code is going to get executed. Not both conditions have to be true, but one or the other. Well, let's go ahead and I'll show you how to do that. Just like before, you go ahead and write your two conditions in here. If first is equal to Bucky and last is equal to Roberts, and now you're saying, all right, go ahead and put those double and signs. Well, when you're using or, you actually use this sign. It's called, I think it's called the pipe symbol or something. It's above the enter key or the return key on your keyboard. And I guarantee you just look there right now. So don't lie. I know you just looked there. You can't resist. So anyways, when we use the or sign, let's go ahead and run this and see what happens. It says bacon, but you're saying, all right, well, we said if first is equal to Bucky and first is actually equal to Tommy, so why would this run? The reason it ran is because this last name was indeed equal to Roberts. So again, only one of these conditions has to be true in order for this code to run. If both of them are false, if first one equals Tommy and last one equal Tom Hanks, then they're not going to be equal to Bucky or Roberts. So whenever you try to go and run this, nothing happens. So again, with or, either this one has to be true or this one has to be true. And if they're both true, Tommy and Hanks, it's going to run. So if they're both true or this one, it's going to run. It's basically saying as long as one of the conditions is true, I'm going to go ahead and do the code you told me to do. So anyways, just like before, if you want to add more, just go ahead and add more pipe symbols and more conditions right in here. But that's the basics of this tutorial, and testing complex conditions. It might save you some time from nesting a bunch of if statements. Again, if you want to test one or more condition and they all need to be true, then use the double and sign, just like that. If you want to test two or more conditions and only one of them needs to be true, then go ahead and use those or signs or pipes or whatever the heck you call them, just like that. So that's the basics of that, and don't forget that it's not only two, but you can add an unlimited number of tests just by adding more signs and more break, or what they call parentheses. So that's all I have for you guys for this tutorial. Hopefully whenever I stop this tutorial, I'm actually going to save it this time and not delete it, because well, I guess if I delete it this time, then you guys would never be hearing this. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video.